Hello, and thank you for joining me again here in beautiful Burlington, Washington. Today we are going to go on an adventure. We're going to take Amos on a trip. And what are we going to take him up to? Well, a lot of new EV owners, and even us long-time EV owners, suffer sometimes from a thing called range anxiety. And so part of this channel is to help people, especially in the Pacific Northwest, get over that range anxiety and want to go out and enjoy and see all the beautiful, beautiful things Washington State has to offer. And so I'm going to be trying to show you where you can go in your EVs and to not have to worry. So won't you join me today as we take Amos on the North Cascades Highway up to Newhalem, Washington, and check out a level 2 AC charger right at the base of the pass. We begin our journey here in Burlington, Washington at the version 2 Supercharger. You can tell it's a version 2 Supercharger by a couple of things. Number one, version 2 Superchargers have big, heavy, fat cables. Another thing that you want to look for is how they're numbered. So in this instance, we have 3B I'm connected to. And over here we have 2B, and then there's a 3A, etc., etc. Version 2s are split. So when you have a 1A and a 1B, they're shared if two cars are connected. The first car gets the most, and the second car gets whatever's left over. Version 2 Superchargers also charge at about 150 kilowatts. And we can see that, interestingly enough, Tesla has put in a temporary charger here at the Burlington location because evidently either high demand or they've been having issues with one's breaking. But I've never seen one of these little portable setups before. Let's check it out. Same handle, little short guy. These are the destination chargers. These are the smaller superchargers that you will often see in parking garages. And yep, this looks like a temporary install, perhaps, or an expansion. That's interesting. So, Burlington Washington Supercharger, lovely place. They've got a fare-filled Inn and Suites here. There is a Bob's Burger and Brew across the way. We got a Jack in the Box gas station over here. Overall, this is a really great Supercharger, although I have been to much more beautiful and better ones. So we're going to head out of here once we've reached a state of charge of about 80% and head on up to Newhalem, Washington. Why don't we go inside the car here for a minute and check out our route. All right. As I indicated, oftentimes new BEV owners suffer from range anxiety and they don't know how far or where they can get going to. And so I just want to demonstrate in Washington there are lots of areas that we can go to that you may not have considered. And one of them is the North Cascades Highway up over some of our beautiful passes. I've punched in here, as you can see on my navigation, a trip to Winthrop, Washington, which is approximately 2.5 hours and 131 miles. And the car believes that we will get there with a state of charge of about 25%, which is pretty good. You could still get around in Winthrop if you wanted to. But what I want to demonstrate is there are some wonderful version 2 or level 2 chargers at the base of Rainy Pass in Newhalem, Washington. And so we're going to head up there, check out those chargers, and let everyone know what you can expect to see before you head up over the pass if you need to top up your Tesla or any EV. So join me on this journey as we head up to Newhalem, Washington and check out the public charging at level 2. I can't wait. All right, and here we go, pulling out of the parking lot of Bob's Burger and Brew, delicious restaurant. And we're going to be heading up to Newhalem, Washington on Washington State's Highway 20. Highway 20 is the longest freeway or highway in Washington State at 436 miles long. It's also our oldest highway, established as a wagon trail in 1898, I do believe. It starts over on the west coast and it heads all the way over into Idaho. The path over the mountains is the gateway to the North Cascades, and it has two mountain passes, Rainy Pass and Washington Pass, both of them at an extreme elevation of over 4,000 feet. So Newhalem, where we're headed, in an hour and 15 minutes and 89 miles away, is the last place where you can get any supplies or civilization before you head into the mountains. Newhalem is at an elevation of 515 feet above sea level, and right now we are at sea level. So once we start to head up, we're going to only go up about 500 feet, as I stated, but Newhalem is at the base of Rainy Pass, and Rainy Pass is at 4,559 feet. So as you can see, you have an extreme elevation climb when you first start to take the pass. So anyway, join us on this trip as we head up to Supercharge. I'm bringing my dad with me. I can't wait. I'm going to enjoy this trip. And we will check in at points along the route. We are at a 79% state of charge. We started at 80. And we'll check in if there's interesting things to see, beautiful spots, different states of charge, and then when we get to the charger. Talk to you soon. All right. Hey, you join us about 8 miles into our trip. I'm going to kind of try and keep you informed as we go in here. We've been operating in full self-driving so far this whole time, going 5 over the speed limit, being safe, no interventions so far. And what is our power usage? Well, let's take a look. Nope, not that. We want to see how much energy we're using. There we go. Looks like currently we're averaging 277 watt-hours a mile. And the car projects 205 miles of range left, so we're doing just great. What a beautiful day, and you can see the mountains that we're heading into out in the distance. Beautiful Washington State, the evergreen state, and you can see why, all these lovely trees. So we'll check back in when we're down the road a little further, and just thanks again for joining us. All right, welcome back. You join us as we are just entering the beautiful city of Rockport, Washington. There is not much here but a turnoff to visit Darrington and Arlington. Anybody familiar with the Oso tragedy that we had would know that that is the route that you would take if you wanted to go and see where they've reclaimed the hillside and that wonderful community has started to rebuild. So we're just cruising here. Rockport is one of the last cities before Newhalem. We have Marble Mountain in 8 miles, and then Newhalem is really the last bit of civilization before we head to Rainy Pass. We're not going to actually go over the passes today, but I do think if there's an interest, I'd be more than happy to take us over to Winthrop on a drive, show people the beautiful views, and build confidence in knowing that you can make it to Winthrop in an EV if you have the right range, and not only make it, but make it back. So thanks for checking in with me. Oh man, isn't that gorgeous? As we just cruise through beautiful Washington State, headed to Newhalem. We are just rolling through some epic views right here. We've got the river off to our left and the Skagit River off to our left here. And as we come up and come around this corner, we are going to have just a beautiful view of the North Cascades Mountains. So just stick with me for a second as we roll through here, and we are going to see some beautiful mountain vistas. This has been a wonderful drive so far. We're at about 64% state of charge. The car is getting great efficiency, and oh man, look as we open up into those vistas. Isn't that just amazing there? There's our river off to our left, our right. Look at that, folks. Beautiful snow-capped mountain peaks, valleys, glaciers, beautiful water. This is just a great drive, and I cannot recommend it enough. And again, that's why we're doing it, to show you not only can you do this drive, you can do it with plenty of battery and get to a place that'll help you get over the pass. So we'll check back in when we get to Newhalem. All right, and hey, welcome back. We are about 9.8 miles from Newhalem. still using full self-driving. Car's been doing fantastic. We haven't had only one intervention so far, and that's where it wanted to go around some construction work because it was in a hurry. And I said, silly car, you can't do that. So we took it out of full self-driving for the road work, made it around that, and now we're back in FSD and we haven't had any problems. In fact, I asked my dad, who is a professional heavy equipment operator and truck driver, what he thought, and he said, you know, if you didn't tell me, I'd think it was a really crappy 16-year-old driving that car, but I wouldn't know it wasn't a person. So I think that's pretty impressive. So we'll check back in when we get to Newhalem. I just wanted to show you these beautiful views as we roll through here. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll check in at the charger. All right, and hey, here we are just preparing to head into Newhalem, Washington, the gateway to the North Cascades Pass. Last civilization before you start to head up to Rainy Pass. And as I indicated, Newhalem is at an elevation of about 551 feet above sea level. We started out right at sea level in Burlington, so we've gone up about 550 feet. But when we start to head up out of Newhalem to crest Rainy Pass, we are actually going up an elevation change of about 4,100 to 4,200 feet. It is an extreme elevation climb. And so that is one of the reasons why you may seriously want to consider doing what I'm doing and stopping at this level 2 charger here in Newhalem. So once we arrive, I will plug in, show you the state of charge, talk about our efficiency, and review the charger. And here we are coming around the corner. Look at those beautiful views. My God, I cannot wait to get plugged in. All right, and here we are pulling in to the visitor parking in Newhalem. The charging is just right up here, so we're gonna roll up here and get connected. And I will talk about how I found these chargers. We can see them approaching on the right. So we'll get connected, I'll check back in, and we'll talk about how I found these. All right, and we have successfully made it to the Newhalem charging. So we're gonna get out in just a minute and take a look at that. But let's check our state of charge. We're at a 57% state of charge. We started out at 80%. So we've used approximately 23% charge to get up here. We averaged 264 watt hours per mile, and the car projects us with 167 miles of range remaining. So at this point, if I wanted to go to Winthrop, let's see what the car thinks about that with our current state of charge. Well, would you look at that? It says we would arrive with 25% state of charge indicated, even without charging here in Newhalem. So pretty impressive, but we're gonna get out and charge because I think that's a good idea. So let's go ahead, we're gonna open our trunk and we're gonna open our charging port and we're gonna get out here and see what we've got going on. So beautiful charger. There's Amos ready to go. We're gonna walk around the back here and just take a quick look at what is available in this station. So we have two 30 amp level 2 chargers. They require a credit card payment to begin charging, and doesn't look like there's a lot of people here, so you probably have good availability. But if we come over to this one here, currently 70 amps, and guess what? Free charging, and everything looks like it is okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get plugged in and see if it works. All right, folks, let's try this out. So we've got our cord here. Ugh. And the other thing that you oftentimes will need is this handy dandy device. This is the Tesla adapter, so we can go from J1172 to Tesla, and we'll go ahead and plug in. Okay, folks, we are connected. I heard some clicking, but I don't see anything happening here. Let's go inside the car and see if it's charging. Oh, look at that, folks. We are currently running at 8 kilowatt an hour, 30, 40, 41, 40, we're almost at 48 amps, 237 volts, folks. We are ripping charging on this AC charger, and it's free. So, what do I think so far of the Newhalem charging? I think it's fantastic. I think you got 70s and 30s, and we're gonna let this juice up for a bit, and we'll check back in after me and my dad take a quick walk around Newhalem, and we'll get an idea of how fast charging happens. Well, folks, me and my dad were doing a little bit of discovery work, and we came up on this one. Wanted to see how much it cost. So we push end here, and 2 hours of charging is $1. So it is 50 cents an hour at this 30 amp level 2 charger, a J1772 charger. So if you want to come, I'd suggest you use the free 70 amp, at least until they fix the card reader. And when I get back, I'll talk about how I found this charger and some handy apps that will help you on your journeys across the great Northwest. Here's some good information about the Skagit River Hydroelectric Project. Again, we're in Newhalem, Washington. Beautiful, beautiful little city. The city was established by Seattle City Light, who runs the Diablo Dam up here and provides power for Seattle. Newhalem is a company town. The only residents are people that live, and work here for Seattle City Light. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful place to be. The children here used to have their own school. However, here in the last decade or so, due to some issues, they no longer have their own public schools. So the children here have to take a school bus on approximately a 1 to 1.5 hour ride, depending on weather and seasons and traffic. So we're going to cross here, continue our walk through Newhalem. Just so happy to be out with my dad. What a great day, huh? This is just beautiful. Let's wander over here and look at the historic train. Here we see the Seattle City Light locomotive. Isn't that cool? Number 6. Like I said, you don't want to miss all of the beauty that this state has to offer just because you've got a little range anxiety owning a battery electric vehicle. Let's see what this wonderful little thing has to say. Old number 6. I just love this stuff. Purchased in 27 for 75. Oh no, 7.5 million. Woo, that must have been an expensive train in the day. Gorgeous. They've had some fires through here, not too recently, but recently enough that you can see some of the scarring on the hillside. All right, we'll check back in when there's something else to look at. All right, and some of the great features that Newhalem has here, right? Beautiful areas to walk around. There are restrooms right up here if somebody needed to use them. But just beautiful, right? I mean, we get out, look at the rock slide there across the hillside. And if we come up here, we are going to see something that is just amazing. And I really, really hope that you are inspired to get out and come see this stuff. Look at this gazebo. Isn't this just epic? Here we go. Let's get this framed in. Isn't that just awesome? Made with bushings and insulators that they use on the high test lines delivering power into Washington State. Isn't that just gorgeous? And there is an example of those lines feeding this beautiful juice to our cities and our vehicles. All right, folks, thanks for joining me here. When we touch base again, we'll be getting ready to leave, and I will talk about some of the handy tricks that I use to find charging in places you may not expect. We just stopped to admire this fresh rock fall here. As a matter of fact, I was telling my dad, literally, I shouldn't laugh, it is kind of sad. Over the July 4th weekend, there was a rock slide just up the road here, which shut the pass down. So all of those poor unfortunate campers who thought they were coming back the fast way across Highway 20, oh, no bueno, unfortunately. But that's just the way we live here in Washington. Rock falls happen all the time. We see them on I-5, we see mudslides. Chuckanut Drive gets shut down almost every year, and we're gonna see Chuckanut Drive together on one of my other trips. So anyway, I just thought that was great. Me and my dad had to remark on that, and we wanted to share it with you all. So there is Amos. We're headed back. We're gonna see how much charge we got. We got out, we went to the bathroom, we did a quick walk around, and now we're gonna head back. So let's see how things went. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get things wrapped up. We have successfully made it to Newhalem. As you can see, we're still charging 48 amps, 235 volts, and we have added 2 kilowatt hours so far. The car does a great job, right? I've got it set to an 80% charge limit, and it's letting us know we have an hour and 35 minutes until we could head down the road. But we've also discovered we could have made it to Winthrop with over 25% battery state of charge. Now, you might ask, how did you find that out, Ryan? How do you figure out where these things are? Well, I'm going to show you real quick. We use this wonderful thing called PlugShare, the PlugShare app, which is right there, and I'm going to open it right now. And the PlugShare app is a free app that allows you to find charging throughout the country. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. As you can see, it shows a map, very similar to Google Maps. And because we are up here in the mountains, we are having a hard time getting good cell reception, but PlugShare here would have shown me, and did show me, that these chargers were available and what their ratings were. So PlugShare is a great resource when you want to go on trips. I also like to use one called a Better Route Planner, and we'll talk about that another day. So PlugShare, great option. It shows you all of the different charging throughout the state and really the country. A Better Route Planner, which I'll show you at another time, helps you to plan out your routes and also shows you charging throughout the country. And then you have the Tesla Maps, which also gives you indicated state of charge, lets you know how much battery you're going to have when you show up, and tells you what chargers you need to show up to on your way to your destination. So again, range anxiety is real, but I'm hoping to fight against it and teach you these wonderful tools to get you out and enjoying Washington. So thank you very much for joining me and my dad on this trip. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you join me again. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. I'd love to grow my channel, be able to bring you more things and do more with you. I think tomorrow we're going to do a review of the Model Y. I'm going to go through and talk about all of the different features, how I use it, and show it to you from the perspective of a person that lives and owns the car. So with that, have a great day, and I'll talk to you again soon.